Andy Sullivan here from Blue Collar Corner. Tonight, I'm here in Brooklyn at the Brownstone Republican Christmas Party. Now, if you just follow me, we're going to go to the back where they have a little room gathering. We got a bunch of GOPers, and they're talking about everything from the GOP candidate to world peace, the economy, and, of course, everybody's favorite subject, Obama. Come on. Hello there, sir.
Hey, Andy, how are you?
Very good. Right here we have Gene. Now, Gene, aren't you one of the leaders here in Brooklyn?
I am now the law chairman of the Brooklyn GOP.
The law chairman. And what do those duties exactly have you do?
Well, as I'm learning right now, those duties are to make sure that our candidates get on the ballot, make sure that all their signatures are valid, prepare petitions for those candidates, and make sure that everything is handled the proper way and we have a great slate, and make sure that everything's legal, basically. If there's anything that goes on in court, I'll be able to handle that as well.
Definitely something of great importance. Now, Gene, you and I first met, as a matter of fact, down in D.C. At CPAC, where you were doing your GOP radio show.
That's right, yeah. I was doing Brooklyn GOP radio, and you happened to be right in the booth right next to me with Betsy McConnell.
We hijacked that booth, by the way.
Yeah, we both hijacked two booths. It was great. Don't let the people in CPAC know that, by the way. But, yeah, we had the two booths next to each other.
Edit that out.
No, don't even worry. And we hit it off great, did the show a couple times, which I'm so thankful that you did, and been fast friends ever since. It's been a wild ride.
Absolutely, feelings mutual. Say, Gene, about the present crop of candidates, what do you think of them for the GOP?
Well, for the president we're talking about?
Correct.
Okay, well, it's down to a two-horse race. It's Romney and it's Gingrich. I know that you're a Gingrich guy. I haven't really decided on either one of them yet. I was a Mitch Daniels guy early on, and I was kind of disappointed that he didn't throw his hat in the ring.
Why Mitch Daniels?
Well, when I heard him speak at CPAC, at the Reagan banquet, probably the best speech I ever heard in my life. If you haven't seen it, pull it up on their website, which I'm not going to give them a plug for, but pull it up on their site. And one of the top speeches I've ever heard in my life, and I was like, this is a guy who knows what he's talking about, a fiscal conservative. He doesn't seem like the type of guy who you would pick to be president. Not like Mitt Romney, who's out of central casting. Short guy, rides a Harley.
Break the glass and open up for president.
Exactly right. So that was my guy early on. When he said he wasn't going to run, I was bummed, and I'm kind of just vetting everybody out. But it looks like it's going to be Romney or Gingrich, and we'll see from there. Gingrich, there's this idea that he's the next flavor of the month. I'm not so sure. I think that he has the intellectual capacity to really remain in the race, remain strong, and go through the vetting process. But at the same time, his organization seems a little sloppy. So. It
does. It's like he's going by the seat of his pants. But you know what? In an odd way, it's sort of working. Today with social media and the way things are, everything is being done differently.
Oh, case in fact right here.
Exactly.
But you know what? When it comes to Newt, when I see things like he almost misses the ballot in Ohio, that's scary, especially for a guy who wants to be president. That's a basic thing about a candidate that they have to have done. They have to have that basic infrastructure.
Do you think he's going to implode?
I'm not sure. I don't think that he personally will implode. I don't think there's going to be any skeletons jumping out of any closets or anything like that. It's not going to be Herman Cain over again. But I do think that he has to get the money and the people going quickly. Because Mitt Romney has the money, he has the people, he has the organization, and he has the advantage that he's been vetted once already by the American people 4 years ago.
True. And the GOP loves those guys. That's usually their traditional sort of guy. A guy who sticks by his guns, who's reliable, who runs a good campaign, who's out there doing the ground game and everything like that. But why are they so reluctant to really get behind him with any big numbers?
Well, there's a couple of reasons. First reason is Romney Care. When people see Romney Care, they think that it is the same as Obamacare. What they don't recognize is how Romney Care was a state scheme, and it was tailored for Massachusetts, and that's why it worked. Obamacare is one size fit all, and it's unconstitutional. So that's why it doesn't work. But that's the first reason why. The second reason why is there is a growing resentment among a lot of young people that Republicans seem to pick the guy who always finished second 4 years ago. You can go back as far as you want. That's always happened. When McCain lost to Bush, he became the guy.
And what is it, about a 50% win rate?
Yeah, absolutely right. But what you're seeing with Romney, though, is his numbers haven't really moved up or down. It's been very steady. So he has a strong base, but there's a good 75% of Republicans out there who are looking for anybody but Romney.
The anti-Romney.
Exactly right. And the anti-Romney is somebody who's going to energize the party. Is not just going to be, you know, the cold, standoffish politician that he portrays himself to be. I don't know the guy from Adam, but that's how he portrays himself.
I think a lot of the folks think he's not a strong enough counter to Obama. If anything, he's almost sort of similar in ways.
People were looking for parity when they were looking for their presidential candidate. They want to see somebody who's a fiscal conservative, who's a social conservative in a lot of ways. Well, if you especially go to outside of New York, you're looking for that as well. And Romney is not the atypical guy. He's not the guy that we're going to meet in a bar and hang out with.
Gene, the $10,000 bet, was that a gaffe or what?
No comment. I'm going to leave that one alone.
You know, he tackled that issue today, and he tried and laugh it off. His wife told him, oh, you're good at this, you're good at that, but you're not good at betting. And he was really trying to put like a laughable spin. I think if he just would have came out and said, you know what, I am sorry. I didn't realize that, you know what, $10,000 might be 20% of somebody's yearly salary. And I should respect that.
And that is you've probably hit on a third reason now why Romney is not the candidate right now. He seems to be out of touch in a lot of ways. He has to find that connection. The same way that Herman Cain had that connection before he imploded. Herman Cain's the kind of guy you'd walk up to and want to hang out and talk with.
Isn't that something you're born with, though, Gene? I mean, it's really hard to develop something like that if you don't have it right from the get-go.
He has to have it somewhere. He was the governor of Massachusetts, a Republican governor of Massachusetts. He has to have some sort of charisma that he's just not tapping into. It's just not resonating. I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping, he finds it soon.
Give us a projection there, G-Man.
I think it's going to be Romney that wins the nomination. And I do think that once that happens, Republicans will definitely get in line behind him, and I think he is the next president of the United States.
All right, Gino, thank you, sir.
All right.
Okay, we're going to cruise on over here. We're going to say hello to someone who's pretty important here. Hello, Sandra. Welcome to Blue Collar Corner.
Good to see you, Andy.
Very, very pleasurable to see you as well. Listen. Talk to me about Gingrich.
I think he's the only one that can debate Obama.
So you feel confident that he doesn't have enough stuff in his background and in that big old closet that they're gonna stroll out everything that poor bastard ever did, and you think the public's gonna still be palatable after all of that?
Andy, the good part here is there are no skeletons in the closet, because they blew the doors off of his closet years ago.
But it was so long ago. A lot of these people don't know any of this stuff. This is all going to be new hat to this younger generation.
Well, then they need to study and do their homework. I think the issue is going to come down to the issues, and I think that he is going to defeat Obama. And I think that I loved the challenge that he issued, which was 7 Lincoln Douglas-style debates.
God, could you imagine going after Obama for 3 hours, a guy like Gingrich?
Hours, okay, with no moderator, just a timekeeper. And Gingrich has challenged him to do that, and he has welcomed him to bring his teleprompter. And he sarcastically sneered and said, if I were defending Obamacare, I'd want my teleprompter too.
Well, listen, what if Gingrich doesn't make the ballot? What if it's Romney? How do you play it?
Romney, look, I'll support anyone against Obama. Absolutely anyone.
All right, so if that hamburger over there is running against Obama,
yep, I'm with the hamburger.
You're with the hamburger. Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fraud in that.
But let me ask you this. I mean, Obama's going to get up there. He's going to say, "Hey, listen, I took an economy that was just about to go off the cliff,
and took it over the cliff."
Well, he's going to say no. He's going to say, "Listen, I've had 21 months of job growth, even though it's been small."
No, you're not going to get me on job growth.
No. This is what he's going to tell you.
Talk about Solyndra and the green energy that he is trying to force down everyone's throat. Decide what light bulbs I can or cannot buy. This is not a nanny gate.
Yeah, but the light bulb thing came with the Bush administration.
If he wants to micromanage and have a central administration and a central planning, that's what they did in the Soviet Union, and it didn't work out really well for them.
What about the car companies? I mean, he's going to say that he saved the car companies.
He can say anything he wants. I think the American people are a lot more intelligent than to be sold that bill of goods.
Now,
take a look, for instance, Andy, the people with whom he has surrounded himself. Van Johnson, an avowed communist, by his own words. We don't even have to talk about Bill Ayers or Reverend Wright.
Yeah, but we have young people who are actually spouting communistic sort of mantra.
Because that's the teachers that are in the classroom. The K-12, we gave up that battle back in the 40s. I'm going to send you something, Andy. It's the 1931 8th grade...
Tell me it's going to be chocolate. Tell me it's going to be chocolate.
It's going to be chocolate. It is the 8th grade examination to get out of 8th grade in West Virginia in 1931. And I would assure you there aren't very many people in this room, if any, who could pass that test. And you have to ask yourself, what has gone on in the last 30 or 40 years that has destroyed American public education? I'm an educator. I was a high school principal. I worked for the New York State Education Department. I understand what has gone on, and we as parents have abdicated our responsibilities and said, they must...
To the state.
To the state. There you go. The good old...
I agree with you, absolutely.
I'm going to tell you, if you saw what was going on in the textbooks that your children or grandchildren are looking at, you would be horrified. Absolutely horrified.
That I have no doubt. Sandra, I'm going to get to the rest of your party. It was great speaking with you, and hope to see you before we go. Hello, sir. Would you like to say something to Blue Collar Corner?
No, I'm not.
Okay, not a problem. Hey there, young fella. How are you? Welcome to Blue Collar Corner. Would you like to say anything about the GOP candidates and the upcoming election, or anything political at all?
Anything political? Give me something.
Well, what about the present GOP field? Is there anybody in particular you support, or do you support the other side?
All right, well, I'll say one thing. I read this wonderful article on Romney, and it gave me a background of the way that he's moved through his life, and he's picked up a lot of different experiences.
Such as?
Well... Okay.
What's the one thing that impressed you most about it?
Well, not so... Okay, I'll give you one thing. Back in Massachusetts, now, just so you know, I'm Catholic. So
am I.
His background is being a Mormon and being a leader in his church. And so he's basically the head guy, well, at the time, in Massachusetts. And what I like is the fact that, and, I guess from my perspective, it's always wonderful to be giving back. And the way that he did it, from what I saw, is being a mentor and advisor to the younger generation and to his community at large, which we need. So that's one thing that I like, and that's what I liked reading about. And so I'm sure all the candidates have something like that.
Well, you yourself, do you consider are you affiliated with a party?
I'm Republican.
You are a Republican. Why do you think it is that Romney has been kind of just leveling off? He's been kind of flatlining with the same amount of support. He hasn't gone up, he hasn't gone down. Why do you think they seem reluctant, even though there's been these people that have been coming in, shooting up in the polls, and then starting to crater?
Some people would say it's the hair.
The hair? He's got the best damn hair I've ever seen.
But that's probably what puts people off. Maybe he's maybe too. I don't think this is true at all. But maybe some people think he's just got everything together a little too well, or maybe it could be other reasons that people don't like to.
Too much money?
No, I don't think that.
Elitist? Any of that?
I mean, you could say that about Obama, right? People voted for him anyway. So it's not that. You could say that there are a lot of things in our society and culture that we don't feel comfortable speaking about in public, and that may...
Such as?
It could be, could be race, it could be religion, it could be other things. So, a lot of people, for example, wasn't there a debate recently, a Christian debate, only the Mormons weren't there?
That's a good one. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, but, basically, it's interesting how all of the Republican candidates were attended except for Romney and Huntsman. And so my question is being Mormon that different from being Christian, which, in my opinion, Christian. To me, to be a Mormon is to be a Christian. So other people may...
Listen, every Mormon I've ever ran into seem to be wonderful Christian people.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my thing. It's a non-issue for me, but it seems to be an issue for some people in our society, and yet people are not comfortable talking about it. And so there we go.
Okay, well, it was great meeting. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name? Louis. Okay, Louis, thank you so much. I appreciate you speaking with us. Let's see. How are we doing on time? Okay, let's cut it now, and we're going to do a part 2.